Hey everyone, welcome back to the Fletcher Wolf Racing Shop. I'm Fletcher. Thanks for clicking on today's video. Some work to do on the Lazer Dirt Late model, our winter rebuild of sorts. Pulling the front suspension off. Adam behind me working on cleaning up some starters. Tucker's trying to figure out some shop light work. So got plenty of work to do in the shop today. I'm going to start with the front suspension. Let's get to it. So this is part of our winter rebuild series on our Lazer Dirt Late model. We're going through and taking all the componentry off, cleaning what we need to do, re-prepping what we need to do, and then we'll get down to the bare frame. We got some body work to do. We have some interesting plans for this car, so stay tuned for that. There's still quite a bit of work to do, and we're kind of just chipping through it piece by piece as part of a kind of a winter rebuild series. If you want to see the other parts of this series, they'll be linked in the description. There'll also be a card at the end of the video for some of those videos, so check those out. If you're building your Dirt Late model or you're building your race car and this has been interesting, helpful, or not helpful, please leave us a comment, let us know what you thought. First thing I'm going to do is pull both front hubs. This is the left front hub. Look over here, there's the right front hub. Adam is pulling the starter off. Working on trying to figure out how to get my camera to point at the hub without potentially throwing it on the ground. Stay tuned. Front hubs are a little bit different than the rear hubs. The rear hubs have a drive flange on them, which has 5 bolts, and they're safety wires. You cut the safety wire, pull the bolts off, you can take the drive flange out, and then you can get to the inner nut that holds the hub on. Front, you don't have to drive the front because it's rear wheel drive, so you're not driving the front hubs. So you've just got these little caps here, and they just have a little space in them to pop off. So I just use a screwdriver, maybe. Like that. Caps off. Same system as the back where we've got this ring here with a slot. That slot lines up with a slot on the spindle, and that kind of holds it all together, and that locks in the hub nut from backing off. So you don't want to get these hub nuts too tight or you won't have nice free spin. So you use this ring with this locking tab to lock it in place. So 2 Allen bolts to pull the locking tab, and then we can pull the nut, and then the whole hub assembly can slide off the spindle. Here's a closer look at that. Here is that tab right there on this ring, 2 Allen bolts. So we'll pull these 2 Allen bolts, this ring will come up, then we'll have access to the nut, and it'll be able to back off the threads on the spindle. I'm just using one of these like multi-sets, kind of handy for this kind of thing. As long as I don't throw it on the ground. Get them both broken free, throw it on the ground again. Just gonna hook it with my little Allen thing here. There we go, just like so. Now I can get in here and get access to this nut. Slides in there like that. Again, not very tight. This is where bearing spacer, this car doesn't have them, but bearing spacers are a good idea. Throw the bearing on the ground, and the hub's off. Okay, so here I got the parts laid out in our little parts tray. So this is the hub, and then there's that nut and locking ring thing. There's also one here on the bearing spacer, and then here is the bearing itself. Here's the spindle. To get the spindle off, we've got these cotter pins in the castle nut. Gonna pull those off, break those castle nuts loose, and then we'll have to dislodge the ball joint from the spindle, and then the spindle can come off. That one loosened up. That one. So this is the left front spindle. Here's the bearing area, right? There's those threads where that nut goes on. You got your lower ball joint, your upper ball joint. This is what you would call an Ackerman spindle. So this has an adjustable place for the tie rod. And then here is your caliper mount. So we'll have a future video on how to check these. So stay tuned for that. If you're wondering about spindles, there's a lot of science that goes into these spindles. A lot of speed in your spindle, especially your right front spindle. Really a pretty important part of your car's chassis. So here's where we're at. We've got the lower control arm still on the car, the upper control arm still on the car. You can see the upper control arm is on these blocks here. See, that allows for some adjustment there. It also has a left front chain limiter, right? So that's another tuning tool. I've got mine. I built my left front chain limiter myself. It works, I would say, with medium effectiveness, but I put mine on these rod ends so I can adjust the length real easy. You'll notice the upper control arm on the left and the upper control arm on the right are different lengths. So we have an 8.5 inch on the right front, and then we have an 11 inch on the left front. And so a lot of chassis will be built for a longer left front control arm, upper control arm, so the tubes where it mounts will actually come in towards the engine a little bit and back down. Lazer does it a little bit differently, where the left front control arm mounts to the inside of the tubes and the right front control arm mounts to the outside of the tubes. So there's one difference between the right and the left on this race car. You'll also notice that these block heights are quite a bit different left to right. So that's another kind of asymmetry you've got on this particular chassis. This chassis also has a raised right front rail, so that's another difference between like what you could call a square car or a perimeter car and an offset car. It's not really an offset car, but a lot of the stuff is built to go left. Left front control arm is a two-piece control arm, so is the right front, but it has to be on the left front because you need to get in here and be able to take the control arm off, and because it's inside the frame rail, you couldn't do that with a one piece. So to start with, I'm going to pull these 4 bolts. The control arm, these 4 bolts are what I pulled off, and now I've got it off the chassis. And we'll head over here. We'll pull the second part of the control arm off, which is where the bearings are. And that just comes off with these 2 nuts here. You can see we've got one of the little Joe slugs right there. We can also set our camber by spacing this part of the control arm either closer to the outside or further to the inside. Same thing on the other side. That's how you set your camber with spacers here. The bolts that hold the control arm, I can just tap those guys out like that and like that. And I've got these Allen bolts. There's 3 on each block. 1 down. All right, next thing we're gonna do, last thing on the left front, is to pull the lower control arm off. It's just 2 bolts, take some big tools to do it, 15/16. Let's get it pulled off. So if you look at this lower control arm on the left front, the longer leg goes to the front of the car, what we call a front strut control arm. But if we go to the other side of the car on the right, the leg goes backwards. The longer leg goes backwards, what we call a rear strut. So this car, because the right side, the strut goes to the back, this is considered a rear strut car. And you do that to get more ground clearance in the right front. Not all chassis in dirt late model are rear strut cars. In fact, many even of modern chassis are front strut cars. This happens to be one of the rear strut cars. So if you're wondering what this stick is here, this is a ride height stick. This is our right front static stick. So we put the chassis suspension on sticks, both statically and dynamically, to hold it in place so it's not just in full droop all the time, but then also so we can make measurements. They're not all angle iron. I've made them out of different stuff, or that's actually angle aluminum. Okay, so here's the parts that I've pulled off the left front suspension. Start over here. That's our hub. I still got the rotor on it. So it's just bolts to the hub, a little cup of hardware, just using a solo cup there. There's the upper control arm. That's a 2-piece, right? And so the bearings for it are on this back piece right here. All right, and then there's my chain limiter. There's my upper control arm blocks that mount to the chassis. Those are they just go on each side of the tube there. And then here is the lower control arm, which has the lower ball joint in it. Upper ball joint is in the upper control arm. You'll notice this little tab here, that's for the chain limiter. This is for the shock. And then here is where it mounts to the chassis with those 2 bolts there. So that's the parts I've pulled off the left front of the race car here. Now we're going to do basically the same process, but in reverse on the right front. So that's my next job, but for now, that's probably going to wrap up today's video. Thank you for watching today from the Fletcher Wolf Racing Shop. We really appreciate it. If you like the videos, make sure to like and subscribe, share it with your friends, hit the bell for notifications, all that good YouTube stuff. If you haven't seen our shorts, check out our Cool Racing Stuff shorts. We've got over 200 shorts on our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.